Welcome back to Student of the Month, and this month I'd like to congratulate this lady for doing a fantastic job of the swing in only a couple of sessions and sort of really completely revamping her swing, which is fantastic. So the original one on the left and the new one on the right of the screen. The original one for me just didn't quite have the right arm structure. The handle leans a little bit too far back for her swing pattern, and the spine's just a couple of degrees more toward the target than I'd like to see again based on what her swing would typically do. So the original swing, the ball would tend to go to the right and a lack of power. So the new one we worked a little bit more, just very slightly tweaked the spine angle, and we've got a little bit more lean on the hand of the golf club and improved the wrist angles. So the original swing was very much built on trying to turn a lot to get the power, but what this lady was lacking was leverage in the correct direction for the club to come into the ball, and there is a limit to turn. So there's so much turn here. This leg overextends, this knee comes inward too much, and then the pelvis goes toward the target, which is going to cause a little bit of a problem because that really makes it very difficult to move towards the target anymore during the downswing. Otherwise you'd be way too far forward relative to the ball to get the correct contact. So from here again, if you've got this much turn on the backswing, you've got to have a large amount of turn coming down to match it up. So the golf swing's not just a turn, it's three forces working at the right times and right amounts to make a pivot. So this one, as the lady turns in, she's turning in with very much a broken lever and a bent front arm. So this is going to reduce power and the best kind of impact and hitting position. So the new one we worked on the backswing and the body and how the arms go up. So very, very different backswing position. So she's still got turn, but it's not as much. And then the pelvis and the lower half work very, very differently. So now as she comes down, she's now building up some leverage. So this arm is extended and the right arm is not above the left arm, which really influences the club shaft or the swing plane. So again, as she comes in here and she's turning through, the arms are obviously very bent, and very, very common hitting position that you see most normal golfers are some form of this. So when she comes in now and hits back to the hitting position, completely different. This is what you tend to see the best players do, where the left arm doesn't break down too much, the bottom arm's still got a little bit of bend in it, and the handle of the shaft leans very slightly forward. This allows us to compress and trap the ball against the floor, and then when she comes through, the right side starts to pivot around the left, as you can see here. Whereas this one, again, it's very much a turn, and there's not much kind of the correct arm motion. So the golf swing is a combination of a turn and an arm swing. It's not just one, it's not just the other. Okay, so as we look from the back view, again, we'll see a lot of turn, and the back leg at this point basically is locked out, but the body can't move anymore from there. So as the leg kind of rebends itself, what we'll see is the club coming down with the club face actually quite open here. And again, there's a lot of turn, so the club now is moving toward the front arm, and the club outside the hand line at this point indicates the club is likely to be travelling to the left, or will be travelling to the left through the bottom of the swing. So the club is trying to go left, and the club face is held open. And obviously with the gap in the arms, it's very difficult to square the club face. So the ball would typically go to the right. And we can see the pressure also going toward the toes here, which will cause issues with balance and moving the best way. So again, the new one, we've still got turn, but the right leg doesn't lock out, and we've not got a big gap in between the knees here. So normally you don't see very much gap for a typically fairly good leg motion or movement. So the club face is very different at the top of the swing on the new one. As we come down, we can see more of the grooves during the whole downswing when compared to the original, which means the club face is not open. Now we're coming down by the bottom forearm, which means the club's going to be coming more from the inside and working round into the ball from the correct direction, and then we can come through without the arms needing to bend and collapse. It's a fantastic job here, unbelievable. The key takeaways really are that I think there's a limit to how much turn you need. We definitely need turn, but having the right amount is quite important. And if you're struggling with distance a little bit, and for most normal golfers, they'll be lacking some sort of leverage in the swing. So understanding the leverage and how to generate that the best way, and if that's important to you, is a crucial piece. All right, I hope this helps, and hopefully see you soon.